Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Paolo Trianni and there is some new news on the Cosmos. Not as much news as we were hoping there were going to be. We were really hoping there was going to be shed loads of news like resolution and price and lots of other little fancy details, but what we got was this picture here and well, this video. And the thing about this video is it shows that the Cosmos is now going to have 6 cameras instead of 4, which is fantastic for those people that love to play Beat Saber, because that's probably more to the area of where you're going to need that extra few cameras. I mean, if it slides down, when you're going downwards, you're going to need a bottom camera as well, which the Rift S doesn't kind of have. I don't think I've lost tracking playing in that style, but in certain styles the Rift S has lost tracking in Beat Saber, probably not as bad as the Quest. And I think the Windows mixed reality does really well with just two cameras. And I think this says a lot actually about the 6 cameras that you see on this thing. People think more cameras, more the better, and it's true if you've got one at the back, for instance. Maybe it could help with something to do with the back, like pushing off on Echo Arena or something. But the truth of the matter is that it's also how the software works for those extra cameras. And I think that the Oculus line has some way to go for the tracking. So if you're kind of happy with the tracking right now, I think it could improve over time, like Windows Mixed Reality has proved over time. And I think the Cosmos is going to be in the same place when it actually arrives. I have to say the faceplate is kind of different, and the thing with the faceplate, it almost looks like a Union Jack, except it's missing the Scotland part of it. I like it. I think it looks kind of funky, but I will say that I don't think everyone's going to like it. It's going to look like a cheese grater at the front, isn't it, for some people? So your wife's going to pick it up one day and you're going to get cheese all on the front of it, and she's going to go, "Oh, that's I've pulled off the front," like they do with it, and they're sitting there like doing some parmesan. So it's a useful tool. It's like a Swiss Army knife. You can use it to grate cheese. It's got some air. When they flip it up, you actually notice there's actually air holes underneath it as well, which is bizarre because it's got so much air holes. You've got to wonder what that kind of screen needs that much cooling. So you would assume that some technology is probably in it, because you heard about this being able to be connected to an Android Snapdragon 855. So maybe there's something else that helps that connect or does that, or maybe it even has 5G in it. We don't know really, because they didn't mention any of that. It'll be just pure speculation. You can see it's got an IPD adjustment still. And also it didn't, when they first showed it, there was no real headphones, I believe, and now there's headphones on it. So I don't know if you get those with it or if that's an accessory, but I'm hoping you do get that with it, because those headphones are proven to work pretty decently. They're good enough. They're better than having like what you get on the Rift S or the Quest, even though that's kind of quite comfortable. And I like the idea that it flips up as well, which we already know that it was going to flip up. But it's a nice feature, isn't it? I mean, you don't really need pass-through if you can just flip it up. I mean, it's nice to have pass-through, because if you're about to pass through your Guardian and you're just being a bit careless, and then with the Rift S and the Quest, when you actually pass through your Guardian, you suddenly will see your environment that you're in, which is really handy. But it's also quite handy just to flip up to do eye contact with somebody. So if you've got a partner with children or something like that, and they're talking to you, it's quite a nice idea just to flip it up and chit chat. And I'm sure some people with Windows Mixed Reality headsets that used to flip up will tell you how nice feature that is, and it's nice to see in this as well. I will say that the 2 front cameras seem to be more closer to the center on this than Windows Mixed Realities are, or the Rift S, and the Quests are obviously right in the corners, which might be a good reason why they actually went with the extra cameras. I kind of like that idea. I think I can see where they're going with it. Also, the cameras look bigger. They look like chunkier cameras, but when they rip off that faceplate, they're clearly obviously got to be quite thin, because that faceplate's quite thin. I just flipped it up now, look. So as this spins, you'll actually see the vents underneath. You see that you got these vents underneath, almost like a little. That's got to raise some questions why it needs that much vent. Maybe the screen does get quite hot or something. Well, we don't know nothing about the screen. It could be LCD, it could be OLED still. But it is looking pretty now amazing, I think. It looks pretty funky. It looks comfortable. And, you know, anyone that said about the cable, you can see the cable on it. It's curled up like a snake. And I've had a really good look at the end of the cable. I thought maybe it was DisplayPort. Then I thought maybe it's HDMI, and I thought it really can't be any of these, can it? Because if it is any of these, how's it supporting 2160? You know, that, because we're hoping for 2160 on this headset. Obviously, it can support 1600 with the DisplayPort. So, but that's I can't say the word. That is not DisplayPort or anything. That's going to plug into a box of some sort, isn't it? Like the HTC Vive did, or the Pro, and the Pro does. And maybe it will split off into 2 DisplayPorts if it's got a higher resolution. Saying that though, I don't think the reverb is combated that at all, really. So I'm not entirely sure. But it'd be better for the signal, I think, personally. It would also be nice if there was a was it virtual display link cable, like, you know, that they would sell with this, or you could get with this. So, you know, it does help with bandwidth problems that you may have if you just were using one DisplayPort cable. But then, like, there has been rumors as well. I just watched a video from MRTV Sebastian talking about that he thinks that he's heard he's heard from somebody who he trusts a lot say that this is going to cost $899. That's a lot of munga. That's a lot of green, considering this is going to be competing with the Rift S. In a way. Well, I say in a way, if the resolution's 2160, speculation, even if it's 1600p LCD, it's going to be that bit more than the Rift, isn't it? And it's got an extra camera, but like I said, that might mean nothing. If it's, you know, it could be absolutely terrible. The software ain't working great. I'm assuming it would be, though, with those 2 center cameras being pointed that way. I just think that's a good idea, because having them wider apart when you've got ones on the side as well doing that job, it would seem like it'd be best to focus more in the areas that are not being focused already. But then why have 2 instead of 1? Maybe pass through plus, who knows, or pass through at all. The headband looks like it's really, really sturdy, doesn't it? It looks like it's probably well built as well. The Rift S, I think a lot of people say with the Rift S, and I do have my Rift S down here. Spin it around, like they say it feels a bit more flimsy, especially this part here. That on the Cosmos, that does feel like it's a lot more stronger. But it's kind of similar in a lot of ways, the headband on that to this. I mean, you're just not getting the Vive logo there, but it's extremely similar in a lot of designs. But I'd say that looks lighter, and then the headset looks heavier, doesn't it? I'd love to know how that feels. If it's really heavy, then we're going to have to work out and get some muscles in our neck, aren't we? I mean, that's the only way around it. I do think it looks really good. $899 is a lot of money, especially if you're already buying a Rift, a Quest, and an Index. And now you're thinking, do I want a Cosmos as well? Now it looks pretty good. I mean, it's still got a little bit of the Vive there. I'm not a fan of the way the Vive ever looked. I think it's an ugly looking headset. And then when they made the Vive Pro and they made this blue, I kind of thought, why? Because I really don't like the blue neither. But this is growing on me, because, well, I don't like the way it comes out like that, sort of. You know, it comes out, but the When I'm not looking at you guys, I'm looking at the actual headset spinning around over here. So, but I do like the front now they've done to it, and I think that looks really gorgeous, and I like the headband as well, and I like the flipping part, and I like the fact that it comes with some pretty decent speakers. Hopefully it comes with those speakers. Like when they pull the front off, what's that about? Almost feels like there's a little gap in there for something. Maybe you can hide your porn collection on a micro SD in there from the wife, because if she finds them, she'll just kill you. I don't know why they ripped that off. Like, is there a point in that? Also, how does the cameras, the 2 extra cameras, connect? They didn't look like there was any metal, or was it like psychic powers or something? Telekinesis being used here? There must be a way. It must be something I'm not seeing there, but yeah. And this is supposed to be coming out, what, the end of this year, maybe? In the fall? I don't know. Doesn't look very likely, does it? Well, I don't know. If I saw metal there, I would have believed it, because then they didn't show us much now, though. They would have showed us more, wouldn't they? No? I don't know. So, yeah. Well, we all know that the reason why the money is also high is because, you know, HTC has to make some money on the actual headset, because they can't, you know, decide. I can't say that word. Because they don't have a massive income from any VR games that are sold on Steam or Oculus. Where Oculus and any headset made by Valve will. You know, Valve can sell virtually at cost, because they know that they're going to drive more people to buy VR games, and they will get that percentage from every VR game, which kind of helps, and that's where they kind of make their money in a way. And other things like accessories, because I can't see how that virtual link cable that they're selling for the Index could cost that much for just a bit of cable. HTC doesn't have that pleasure. It's just like Pimax, really. It's the reason why Pimax is quite expensive. I mean, a lot of people are like, why is Pimax so expensive? It's because they have to make a profit on those headsets as well, sadly. Because, you know, if they weren't that expensive, I think everybody would have given Pimax a go at least, you know. And I think the same thing with Cosmos. You know, I think the Cosmos could end up kicking itself in the ass being, you know, so expensive. It's a bit of a shame, realistically, that and the worst part now is that Valve has actually got their own headset coming out, the Index, and they probably won't even help out in any way. You know, they could have said, look, HTC on the first Vive, they could have said, look, you know, you're going to bring customers to us, and you know, we can help you. But I think that help's just probably not going to be around now with the Cosmos, because obviously they've got their own Index. But the VR market, the PC VR market especially, is heating up with the arrival of the Rift S, which a lot of people, the most people that seem to be disappointed with it are the people that unfortunately get a bad batch, or it just doesn't feel comfortable enough for them, or the IPD doesn't fit. But then there is a lot of people that just never had the headset, would just absolutely slag the Rift S off. And I have to say that I am extremely happy with the Rift S. I think it's fantastic. The resolution, the clarity of it, we're having less artifacts is amazing. And I think that's where the industry needs to go, really. We need to really reduce as much artifacts as possible in the headset to make it as clear as we possibly can, you know. And I think that would make it, because you can spend longer in the headset if you do that, where, you know, with certain headsets like with the first Rift and the Vive and all that, the God rays would just pierce into my brain and, you know, kick off a migraine or something. I know that didn't affect everybody, but if somebody has something, like it would be either a screen door effect, or you know, one of the things, light glares, or there's tons of different types of artifacts that you get with VR headsets, and reducing as much as that as possible is fantastic. And it sounds like with the Rift S, they did a really good job. They did do a really good job with the Rift S, and you didn't get that with the Quest. The Quest is almost not like that at all. It's kind of different a little bit. It's almost like I've said this a few times. The the Quest is more like they've just taken a Samsung Odyssey screen and lenses and just shoved them straight into the Quest. And I didn't get that either. Why 1600p? They should have went with the 14. They should have went with the exact same screen and lenses as the Rift S, and then they could have played games with better resolution, not scaled down, and a bit more quality thrown in at the same time. And they might have saved even some money doing that, where they could have just spent the extra money and got the next CPU up from the 835 they're using, so the 845 maybe. It would have been a great idea. I just don't get why they did that. And then you hear about the Index, and the Index has added a lot of things, and it's also got a lot more what's it called, less artifacts in it as well. But they didn't get rid of all the artifacts. The God rays can be quite bad in some areas, I've heard, and light glare, if it's either light glare or God rays or both mixed in together, and you can't really separate them that much. But from what everyone said, it seems like it's a very clear display. So hopefully a lot of the artifacts have disappeared, and I think the Index, and don't forget we've got higher resolution in the Index as well, and a higher refresh rate, all of which is going to make it less strenuous on the eye. I don't think 1600p is quite there yet on the resolution. I think that 120 hertz would spoil everyone, and that's going to be a bit of a problem. I would have wished that they would have got to a higher resolution before doing the whole 120 hertz or 144 hertz if you want to go experimental. But it looks like we're going to get spoiled early, and it's going to be really, really hard for us to probably try anything else. And then we're going to be playing the games that are going to be so demanding and they're going to look gorgeous, but then we're going to have to chop it down or something because we just can't play it. We'd have to have it 120 hertz just to make it easier on our eyes. All this is going in the right direction, in my opinion, and I couldn't be more excited for VR right now. I just wish I had a bigger bank account, be able to afford the Index. I've already got the Rift S and the Quest, and now soon, hopefully at the end of the year, the Cosmos, which is looking absolutely shockingly amazing right now, because I actually do think this is going to be good. I'm hoping this is going to be good. I don't think it's going to be a change in resolution. I think this is going to be like the Rift. This is going to be the Rift S, probably with a lot higher resolution, better sound, obviously. Out of the box, that is, and an extra camera, hopefully, which makes a difference. And there's this option that it might be able to be tethered to a Android phone, so which has the new Snapdragon in it, which I don't. I actually have an iPhone, not an iPhone, and a Samsung Galaxy S8, which is actually got the same CPU in it as the Quest has. So yeah, I need to upgrade. So that's another reason though as well. You get the Quest, and then they suddenly say to you, "Oh yeah, you'll be able to tether using an Android phone," and then you'll be looking at your phone, and you'll either have an iPhone or a outdated CPU Android phone, and then you look at the prices of the new Android phones, and you'd be like, "Blimey, that's another ton of money that I have to put on top of my Cosmos." If you wanted to do that, I don't think I would do that. I think if I was going to go mobile, I'd probably stick with the Quest, because it's literally mobile, and it does the trick. Plus, I'm not bothered being too tethered at the moment. It's about dependent. You really need the room, and a lot of people do have the playroom. I don't. I have about 1.5 meters by about 1.5 meters in a space here. So it's I can't really go anywhere other than spinning around the circle, basically, and it just means me hopping over my cable every now and then. I'm fine with that. But with the Quest, obviously, I don't have to stay in my PC area. I can move off, and I suppose if this is tethered to 5G, then maybe it would work. Who knows? Maybe you could play on a cloudy day outside in the garden with it. I haven't got a clue. But I'm extremely excited. So the news is 6 cameras. Rumours are $899. I don't know what that would be in pounds. I'd assume maybe a bit less. pounds wise, maybe £800. Euros would probably be a bit more, maybe 950 euros if you're in Europe. Yen would be, I'm not going there. No, I'm not going there. Ruble would be, no, I'm not a currency converter right now. Mars tokens are, well, you have to get Elon Musk and buy Mars tokens. I don't know. I just wish I could try this headset out right now. I'm a bit hyped for it. Tiny bit hyped. Well, I'm hyped about them all. I was hyped about the Rift S. Oh, actually, no, that's a lie. I wasn't. I was hyped about the Quest, but I thought the Rift X was going to go back. I thought my Rift S, you're going to go back. I've got the Quest. Well, I'm not the Quest. I'm in the Index, but I'm reserved. I'm sadly like wave 2 or 3 or something like that, so I won't be getting mine on launch day. But I wasn't thinking I was going to keep the Rift S. I thought I'd probably end up keeping my Samsung Odyssey. I already sold my original Rift by then, because I thought that would be better. So I was shockingly surprised at how good the Rift S was that I ended up keeping the Rift S and selling my Samsung Odyssey. So yeah, I was quite shockingly impressed by that, and I was less impressed with the Quest. So I was really hyped for the Quest, but then I realised it had God rays. Also realised the screen resolution was probably a little too much, but it still does the trick. So, you know, I couldn't argue too much, but the worst part about the Quest is the comfort. But, you know, everyone's doing this Gilux audio strap mod. Maybe that's the solution for it for me, but obviously every head's different. Some people might wear that thing and it'll be fine. I think this Cosmos is going to be amazing. I think the Index is going to fit really amazing. I do think these are going to be good, and I'm hyped for those two headsets right now as well. And I'm also slightly hyped and looking forward to seeing what the PSVR 2 would be as well when it comes out as well, because that sounds cool. I don't want it to force me to buy a PS5 right now, but that's probably not coming out until next year. Well, that's actually going to be announced next year, isn't it? So it's probably not out until next year. Definitely going to be a year away, that's for sure. Anyway, thank you for watching, and that's all I know on the Cosmos right now, and I'm sure you've seen it on many other channels before because everyone's talking about it. It's interesting, but if you like what you've seen, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't like what you see, probably not bother that. Please subscribe and hit the bell if you want to see more videos like this. Also, you know, by hitting the bell, you'll immediately get a guy come in your house called Jeeves. Don't be scared. He's just going to give you the keys to a Lamborghini because you deserve it for hitting the bell. Okay, this is not a scam. I'm not lying to you. This is exactly what's going to happen. You hit the bell and the subscription. You got to hit them both and the like as well, right? And Jeeves will come in your house, right? And he'll give you the keys to a Lamborghini. Not a scam. Maybe a lion. Okay. Again, thank you for watching. Ciao. Love you long time.